Okay. What's going on in the news? As palaces in Rizia begin throwing open their doors for a glamorous feats, there's one question on everybody's lips. Where is Princess Vina? Beautiful, well-mannered, and in the prime of her life, the young heiress should be a fixture of these events. But it seems like King Romus would rather keep his daughter by his side than show her off to the world, even going so far as to drag her along to his council meetings. How is she supposed to find a dashing husband she deserves if she never leaves the palace? The princess has the right to attend council meetings, of course, but it also is her right to see her in a poofy gown and speculate wildly about her love life. Free Vina, I say. So true. In the southeastern region of Xena, the Confederacy of Vandal-Nisam is grappling with a wave of democratic movements challenging its long-standing monarchic rule. Key states in the Confederacy, including the Sultanate of Rankara, the Holy Islands of Panguvu, and the Duchy of Taraman, are facing heightened instability. Suspicions arise that external forces from Arcasi United Katana are backing these movements, further complicating the political landscape. The Confederate Council, led by Prince Consort Kambom Sangtam, is actively countering this tide with increasing mobilization of pro-monarchist troops and intensified intelligence operations. These measures are aimed at suppressing the growing democratic fervor that is leading to escalating conflicts across both urban and rural areas of Vendosam. Non-aligned movement in the group, in AN group grows. I'm assuming it's AN group and not in N group. Amid escalating tension between the world's superpowers, a significant non-aligned movement within the Alliance of Nations is gaining traction. Discontented by the hostile actions of both blocks, this group, adopting strategies akin to Kairut, declares a balanced stance towards both superpowers and openly invites trade partnerships. This trend, reflective of geopolitical strategy focusing on neutrality and economic pragmatism, signals a potential shift in an international arena. These nations, by choosing not to align with either superpower, are positioning themselves as pivotal players in global diplomacy, potentially influencing major decisions and maintaining their sovereignty in a polarized world. Did I even read? Wait, did I read both of these? I did. Okay, good. Good. Excavation promises. The recent uncovering of a vast Resniad city near Topaz is poised to become a beacon of cultural tourism, with experts proposing it as a destination for an Alliance of Nations heritage site. Anticipated to draw visitors globally, the site's potential excavation and restoration offers a glimpse into the historic reawakening that could transform local heritage into a shared global legacy. The promise of enhanced cultural pride and economic influx through tourism has local authorities eager to initiate this landmark project. And what's going on over in Felicodator? A machine at the Felicodator rifle plant has experienced a malfunction, stalling weapon production for the next week. The cause is being looked into, but the plant manager indicates that due to the ongoing labor shortage, few workers have been overseeing production at the plant. Very, very sad. Okay, so what's anything we do here? There's generally like too many decrees. A Sordish delegation is expected to bring up their reopening of Sordish Rizian trade relations during their upcoming visit. While Treasury Councillor Elnia Werner will normally be present for such a discussion, Development Minister Gus Manager is requested to speak to the king alone. We'll talk to Gus ourselves. It's like seeing an old friend. Okay, we'll look at this in a second. Charles Deroux of the Reformist Union Party is emerging as a significant figure in Arcasian politics, directly challenging President Dwight Walker's vision of Arcasian capitalism. Advocating for reduced military interventions and favoring Detente with United Katana, Deroux's platform represents a clear departure from the current administration's policies. His call for reapproachment points to a potential shift on Arcasian foreign policy, resonating with the citizens' disillusionment by prolonged conflicts. This movement reveals a growing divide within Arcasian political thought as the nation grapples with the complexities of maintaining a superpower status amid evolving global rivalries. And the Federation of Anraka is bolstering its economic ties with the anarchist cantons of Estoque and the Kingdom of Nalipernia. Seeking to capitalize on a strategic location and abundant natural resources, this initiative is poised to bolster regional economic resilience and mutual prosperity that challenges the hegemony of traditional superpower-led trade blocs. Andraka's move to enhance these alliances herald a new age of regional cooperation, potentially reshaping the economic contours of the continent and offering a fresh paradigm of interdependence in the global market. And what are you? The iconic Escrade's gas fields, a beacon of Rizian's energy prowess since 1921, is sending distress signals. Recent reports indicate that dwindling reserves are at an alarming rate. While it may be a consistent contributor to Rizia's energy matrix, its operational success now seems precarious. Without immediate targeted surveys, followed by potential offshore excavation, the gas field is projected to cease operations in the coming years. It'll be -1 at some point in the future. Of course, we're going to solve this by decree. Why would I be king if I can't just solve it with decree? And how much does that cost? Buy. It's because that's trade. We want construction. It would be you. And we get more energy, which I think would be good. But again, we can hold off again. We hold off for now. At least for a little bit. My royal yacht? My royal yacht, the Rizania, smoothly cleaved through the waters of the Zmana River Delta. I stood on the deck next to Edward Alfonso, president of Sordland. After hours of diplomatic formalities at Palace Resna, the sea breeze felt amazing. Alfonso removed his jacket and looked admirably at the wide cable bridge that connected Port Drezon's two halves. What a great idea this boat tour was. It would have been a pity to spend our entire visit trapped in a stuffy old palace. He rushed to correct himself. I mean, a beautiful, elegant old palace, Your Majesty. The ship horns let out a blast as we passed beneath the bridge. You know, let's show him the old town. I led the Sordish president to the southern side of the deck for a better view of the old town. The late afternoon sun perfectly illuminated the spire of the Zilba Ark Sanctuary. Terrific. The way that you preserve these historic buildings. But sometimes the past can be a trap. Trust me, I know. Got 100 years of history weighing on me every day. Light as a feather compared to the legacy of one Colonel Soul. The Colonel was no great fan of monarchies, as you recall. Me? I'm more flexible. Country different politics. The only difference between your republic and our monarchy is that the Rizian people are happier. You know, for such an anti-monarchist, he behaved an awful lot like a king. By the end, maybe. I wish we had parted ways on better terms. I know one man who's happy for a clean break, though. Gus Manager emerged in the ship's cabin, clutching a bottle and grinning triumphantly. Edwell! They have it! I tried a Gutanvo exactly once, from a Rizian chef in Halasord who smuggled it over in his streamer trunk. I haven't stopped thinking about it ever since. He turned to me apologetically. Our mutual friend, Rusello, mentioned your yacht had an excellent wine cellar, and, well, I couldn't help myself. So he's not my friend? Rusty has certain sampled enough wine to know what he's talking about. I wouldn't mind gaining some first-hand knowledge myself. Butler! Pabal smoothly appeared from behind us with 3 glasses. Gus handed him the bottle. Excellent choice, Mr. Manager. Please allow me. He filled a glass and handed one to each of us. This should taste of cherry and black pepper, with a faint hint of leather. That sounds awful. You know what? We're on friendly terms with. We're trying to be nice to Sordland, okay? A Morgna West Core. The 2 Sordish men smiled politely. We don't usually toast with that phrase, but nice pronunciation. Well done, Vectrin Sista. Well, look, okay. Look, I'm not Sordish, okay? I tried my best. We drank. Gus sighed with pure pleasure. Alfonso's expression bordered on disbelief. All apologies to Garata Ribbery, but this is in fact the best wine I've ever tasted. I told you! I know certain Sordish movers and shakers who'd killed have access to a beverage of this caliber. Which brings me to the deal that I had suggested. Ah, yes. A free trade of Rizian wine for Sordish whiskey. A good way as any for our relations flowing again, if you pardon the pun. I mean, that can't be the only reason that you traveled all this way. Call it an aperitif. Alfonso opened his attaché and pulled out a bottle of Elroy Maroon 30-year-old. It is our turn to be the connoisseurs, Your Majesty. Butler, 3 tumblers, no ice. Pavel approached with 3 glasses. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that 2 of you are trying to get me drunk. One does not merely get drunk on Elroy Maroon 30-year-old. One floats. Pavel poured each of us a small amount of the amber color liquid. I will do the toast this time. How do your people say it? A prozo. We drank. The flavor rushed over my tongue. Wood smoke, a forest moss tampering off into a sweet, silky, smooth finish. Disgusting. It's heavenly. Tastes like the very soul of Elroy itself. Since your treasury crone isn't here to put a tamper on our proceedings, how about we get straight to it? You're in Rizia, Mr. Manager. We treat women like equals here. Okay. You know what? We'll just go with, don't call Miss Werner a crone. She's one of my most capable counselors. Alfonso gave Gus a look of warning. I apologize on behalf of the minister. I told him to leave his baser impulses at home. See, what we can do is we'll just simply be a woke absolutist monarch, right? Wokeness enforced at the end of a gun. I assure you, Sordland is making progress on its status of women. Some of my most trusted ministers belong to the fairer sex. Alfonso reopened his briefcase and took out some paperwork. See, look! I know this is a woman. I know her. She's in charge of, like, the internal ministry. It's all boilerplate, really. The government of Rizia and Sordland, recognizing the importance of promoting economic growth and cooperation and desiring to enhance their mutual interest, conduct in a manner that is consistent with the respective domestic laws and regulations. I'll keep listening. The party shall agree to cooperate in the development and implementation of sanitary measures. Elimination of tariffs to be completed within 6 months from the entry into force. Ensuring that respective customs, procedures, and other trade-related measures are transparent, efficient, and predictable. No, we're going on. We're going forever. In equal amounts, 100 tons of wine and 50 barrels of whiskey per year, subject to availability. So we give them 100 tons of wine, and we get 50 barrels of whiskey? That is not... I don't know how much whiskey is in 1 barrel. Wait. Yes. Equal amounts. Demand for Rizian wine in Sordland is far higher than that of Sordish whiskey in Rizia. You got a good catch. We can change that section if you like. Quantity subject to market demand. Demand of Rizia will skyrocket once Elroy Maroon hits its market, trust me. So is it a trade, Your Majesty? Okay, let's see. You know what? Definitely. I expect to see all our bars serving Sordish whiskey by year's end. If you bring Alna, the only difference is that she skips right to the problematic part without all the clicking. Excellent, Your Majesty. Another reason for me to return to this gem of a country. The yacht lingered for a moment at the mouth of the Hispana Delta as the sun lowered in the sky, turning the water from turquoise to gold. As much as Sordland's most valued citizens would appreciate her wine, we believe there's something else they'd find even more stunning. Is it my natural resources? He just read his surroundings, then downed the short-sleeved shirt that he was wearing. Have you thought about Rizia's untapped tourism potential, Your Majesty? I mean, yes. I mean, many times. Our beaches put lesbians to shame, after all. They're truly a diamond in the rough. I know that for a long time, international tourists stayed away from the Velicris coast because of the delicate situation in Palace. He pronounced the last word as pales. Palais. I've been saying it wrong. I've been mispronouncing it the whole time. I've been saying Palace. It's Palais. I won't correct him. It's fine. My point is that it might finally be time to bring your underdeveloped shores to life. I took the liberty of hiring a designer to draw this up. He reached inside his jacket pocket and pulled out a sheet of paper with a sketch on it. I recognized the beach he depicted. It was a picturesque sketch of stretch of sand and monkeys, not far from the palace where I'd grown up. Right on the coastline, a designer had placed a sprawling complex with a swimming pool and tennis courts. And on the sign it said, Correnti Resort, Velikiris. It's missing a private pier. Would that be the senior or the junior Correnti? We've done your research, I see. This is Marcel's initiative, along with certain other members of the Lothenburg group. Our partners are considering investment along the Velikiris coast. If all went well, the Correnti Resort would only be the first step. Alfonso's world, the last drop of whiskey around his glass. I'm aware of how your nobles see Sordish oligarchs, and I'm also aware that their world-renowned riches have diminished since each successive generation. Change is not merely inevitable, Your Majesty. It's the only way to preserve the lifestyle for which you are all so accustomed. Your grandmother understood that. Rizia wouldn't have wanted a bunch of fat, sunburned Vulgarians blocking her ocean views. No offense. You know, well said, Mr. President. My relatives could use a good shock to the system. So is that a yes proposal? Should we accept it? Should we accept it? I'm leaning on yes. But maybe yes. As long as the final design is a little less gaudy. I'll pass it on to our partners. Alfonso rubbed his hands together. He's like, oh, we're making money, boys. Hey, I got a postcard. In less than an hour, we accomplished more for our countries than our predecessors managed in 30 years. I said it calls for a celebration. Butler! Another bottle. You've heard the man, Pavel. Pavel reappeared, another bottle in his hand. He filled her glasses with a look of annoyance that only I could detect. The yacht began to turn back towards Port de Rizon, and the sun disappeared over the horizon. I want to see my postcard. Beautiful, beautiful. This is where we want to hang out forever. Get me out of here. Thank you. What's going on in the news? Sordland's first official diplomatic visit to Rizia in over 30 years proved a smashing success. President Edward Alfonso and his development minister Gus Manger flew way back home as friends of the king, having cemented a pair of historic deals between our two countries. Freshly freed from the tyranny of Colonel Tarkin's soul, Sordland has been eager to restore the trade relations to it enjoyed with Rizia under the reign of King Egmont. A new free trade agreement will bring delicious Sordish whiskey to our shores, while making Kutadvo easier for grateful Sords to access. Meanwhile, the province of Velikiris can expect more Sordish visitors, as the resort operated by businessman Marcel Correnti is slated for construction on the Monkeys coast. You know what I love about the Royal Herald? Unlike those fucking losers at the Radical, they always say good things about me. And I'm happy about that. Finally, someone sees the vision. Swords have indicated a thaw in Rizian Sordish relations, as a diplomatic visit to the kingdom by the newer Sordish president, Edward Alfonso, was said to have ended in a deal being inked between the two nations. This marks a turning point for both Sordland, which maintained few relations with its neighbors under the rule of Tarkin's soul, and for Rizia, which in recent years have been trading exclusively with Rumburg. How Queen Beatrice will react to her ally shaking hands with the kingdom's historical enemy remains to be seen. Katana has launched a sweeping crackdown across its southern federalist socialist republics in response to escalating protests. Unofficial reports estimate that over 40,000 demonstrators across Yurizdan, Zoltiek, Sloravia, and neighboring regions, with authorities accusing foreign interference of stoking unrest. The protests, sparked by a deadly incident in Slovaria, have seen Tsarist groups demanding religious freedoms and neo-economic rostrists advocating for trade reforms. Party sources indicate that such dissent voiced at the recent Congress against Chairman Malinev has added to internal discord. These regions, vital to the breadbasket of the continent, now face tightened restrictions and widespread arrest as authorities move to restore order. While Katana claims external forces are to blame, the scale of the protests and severity of the government's response point to deeper internal rifts that are unlikely to resolve quietly. Okay, what's going on in the south? The governor of Terror is issued a stern rebuke to the Azerols of Cardes Monteclar after their provincial military conducted exercises near Palais, the administrative district. labeling the drills as unnecessary provocative. The governor called for restraint and dialogue to address any interventional tensions. The statement emphasized the importance of peaceful coexistence and cooperation within the Kingdom of Rizia. Okay, law enforcement losing its grips. Police in Monteclar conducted a raid on the so-called health retreat at Alkia Springs Leisure Club, following a tip-off that the bathing facility was in fact a gathering point for the local homosexual community. During their unscheduled visit, several same-sex couples were indeed found to be engaging in illegal activity. They were promptly arrested, and the leisure club shut down. And I think that is all the news we have. So if we look at the other countries then, like, can we see if we're getting stronger to them? Unfriendly strong. Unfriendly strong. A neutral strong. Unfriendly overwhelming. Unfriendly strong. Is there anyone that we're better than? Neutral strong. Allied overwhelming. We're equivalent to Agnolia? It's never been moreover. What about like Kairut? Okay, we're better than Kairut. I'm happy about that at least. You know, we've got that going for us. Oh look, it actually shows up on the map. Very cool, very cool. And what do we got over here? Nearly 3 container ships were caught in a logjam by the port of Monkeys yesterday. Many of them transporting goods to Rumburg's Port Grim. Several provincial reports describe a rise in unexplained violence, sudden erosion in local control, and some uncooperative police posts. Certain local income neighborhoods have grown difficult to enter without warning or resistance. So everybody bullies Rizia. Okay, we need to look at our internal security situation. Commission Toras family statues. It has been proposed to erect statues across the nation in honor of the great legacy of House Toras. The choices are varied. One that honors King Velero, another showcasing the late king alongside his son Romus, or a grand portrayal of the entire recent Toras lineage. I'm cat on authority. And Velero is my father, right? Yeah, we don't need those statues. I'm capped. It literally wouldn't do anything. Sordish President Edward Alfonso will be arriving in Port Dresden on Monday. That's already happened, but I appreciate it.